I saw Oppenheimer. Was it a better movie of Barbie and Oppenheimer? Yeah, it was. Let's talk about it. Cue the intro.
Warning, the following video you are about to see comes from a geek and nerd who loves Marvel content and anime shows. Over here, we do not hold our tongue about anything and give you the most honest opinion about our chosen video topic. We do things that other content creators don't do. If you want someone like you to dissect said topic, subscribe and join other geeks in this space. While you are at it, leave a like on the video. Enjoy.
This is a spoiler review. Like I said in my other videos, I'm not doing regular reviews no more. So if you haven't seen Oppenheimer, get on somewhere. Now we have to talk about the main person who played Oppenheimer. I think his name was something Murphy, Cillian Murphy. He was phenomenal. Oppenheimer takes place in the mid to early 1900s. Kind of details the earlier parts of the 1900s and how the atomic bomb kind of affected the world and Oppenheimer. Now throughout this movie, we can see his facial expressions go from glee to glum. In the beginning, he's happy. He's happy that he gets to start a new thing, quantum theory in America, that was usually in other places. America at that time wasn't really that focused on the science aspect, and Oppenheimer was one of the first people to bring that to America, according to this movie. He starts to work on the bomb or whatever, and he doesn't even work on the bomb by his own will. At first, he realizes, hey, another country just figured out we can split atoms. That definitely means we're going to have an atomic bomb. We're in the middle of a war. I know people are going to be trying to build a bomb with the American soil. So he says basically, hey, if you're going to try to build a bomb, why not have me, probably the smartest man when it comes to quantum theory, quantum physics, quantum mechanics in our country, and let me help you. Not only was he able to help, he was able to lead the Manhattan Project. Now, a lot of people have been talking about Christopher Nolan. And there's one YouTuber who couldn't get the meat of Christopher Nolan's out his mouth. I'll play the clips here.
You see Christopher Nolan tackle about me. Christopher Nolan has for Nolan movie. I'm not Christopher Nolan handles Christopher Nolan at his best. Christopher Nolan take up in a Christopher Nolan movie, but it's all Christopher Nolan for all Christopher Nolan has in here. Christopher Nolan handles unravel what Christopher Nolan crafted in here. Christopher Nolan decided to tell. Right. So it's Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer discussion. Christopher Nolan makes it work in a way Christopher Nolan had to do, as this Christopher Nolan throws into filmmaking. Now
Christopher Nolan was a great director, is a great director, and the shots and the writing and the message he was able to convey through these actors was great. Now, do I think it was one of his best films? Not really. But on a structural standpoint, on a cinema standpoint, it probably is his best, and it might end up being one of his most Oscar-winning movies. Leading on to Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. is, obviously, y'all know him from Iron Man. We all know him from Iron Man. And at first, seeing him maneuver, how he talks and his mannerisms I kind of had in my mind, this is still Iron Man talking right here. But as I went through the movie and how he portrayed Strauss was great. I started realizing that, hey, this ain't Robert Downey Jr., this is Strauss. And that's what you want. That's how you know you're playing a character well. When you're basically typecast and you're able to take your typecast and still be able to convey another character that you're portraying. That's always a good thing you're able to do. So, like I said, the movie follows Oppenheimer, how he's willing to be able to do this thing, create this bomb, somehow save America. But he has to kind of juggle the mental impact it has on him as well as the rest of the world. Because, as I said before, knowing that the rest of the world can split an atom just like he can, the rest of the world now has the ability to make an atomic bomb. The problem becomes some of the people don't really know exactly what they're doing, but Russia is one of the countries that do. So we have this conflict where he was in the beginning kind of flirting with wanting to see what the communist ideas were without really going in depth and fully diving into the communist space. He has a girlfriend who's in a communist party. His brother in the beginning is in a communist party. And because he ends up falling in love, having sex with this girl who's in a communist party, it kind of inadvertently allows him to have attached to the communist party, even though he's not really a communist. So that ends up being a thing where he's always constantly saying, hey, I got skeletons in my closet, just like most of y'all as well, where it's like they can say that I'm a communist even though I'm not, and I really won't have any proof to kind of combat that. And we'll later get into what the proof he did have. So knowing all that, you end up having Strauss. Strauss is, in the beginning, I was kind of confused on his character, but Strauss is someone who kind of wanted to be an aspiring scientist, wanted to be a leading scientist, kind of wanted to be what Oppenheimer was. And he's thinking that Oppenheimer is turning Strauss away from being able to collaborate with other popular scientists, mainly Einstein. This kind of thinking allows him to further deepen himself and having a basically feud with himself, because whole time Oppenheimer didn't care about Strauss at all. But Strauss is thinking, hey, this dude is trying to manipulate everybody, not trying to work with me. So he ends up, whole time, he's a communist. And he ends up kind of backtracking and trying to blame Oppenheimer, kind of like frame Oppenheimer to the government, to the world, saying, hey, he's a traitor. When whole time, it was other people that Oppenheimer was working with, along with Strauss, giving information to Russia for Russia to better be able to know how to build a bomb the right way, or be able to build a hydrogen bomb. The hydrogen bomb became a main point when they started talking about the atomic bomb, when they realized, hey, instead of making an atomic bomb, bruh, we can go bigger. We can do the same thing we can do with a hydrogen, and it'll be 10 times bigger than an atomic bomb. This is when we start to see Oppenheimer's mental capacity start to get a little deranged, because he's like, man, what am I really doing right here? To where I'm willingly working on something that can end lives, even though it's not American lives, it's Japanese lives. All lives matter. It hurts to kill anyone, you know, and his blood is on his hands. So fast forward, and we're gonna talk about the bomb scene. Fast forward, we get to the point where it's like, okay, atomic bomb is fixed. We already done tried it out. We're gonna ship off to Hiroshima, Nagasaki. This is when he starts to realize, I really have no control in what this bomb does, even though I made it, and even though most of us are the people who know how to create it. He's like, bruh, I made this bomb. Are you gonna keep in contact with me? The little sheriff dude, the general. He's like, yeah, I'll keep in contact with you. He doesn't. He was kind of becoming an asset for the military, and the military wasn't giving him anything else in return. They literally used him and dropped him off where he was at. And that also could play a big major role into why he was having the thoughts he was thinking. Because it's like, at any point, they know my dirt. They know I had a girlfriend that was in the Communist Party. They know my brother was in the Communist Party. At any time, they can kind of spin this on me and say, hey, the fact that Russia is advancing just like we are, Oppenheimer, you have to be working with Russia because we're the only people who know this on campground. So, and we figure out who the traitor is. Now, like I said, it was Strauss. Moral of the story, there's two things that I feel like anyone should take away from this film. One of the things is be aware of who you try to fall in love with. I say that because I said he had the communist girlfriend. Then he had another girlfriend who was married, who really was deranged. She was an alcoholic. Then he had someone else after that. And he was messing with another female who was kind of in that circle as well. So Oppenheimer, he was definitely messing with the females. But the communist girlfriend ends up killing herself because she's also has mental issues, where she kind of has abandonment issues. Oppenheimer's one of the really only people who kind of like care for her and take care of her. And he says, hey, can't work with you because they don't keep thinking I'm a communist. You gotta go. She ends up killing herself. I feel like if she was alive, she would have kind of been one of the key pieces to Oppenheimer's downfall when he's having a little hearing thing. Him messing with the women came in his favor when his ex-wife, even after she found out that Oppenheimer had went back to the communist girl while Oppenheimer and his family was working on the site for the atomic bomb. Even after she found all that out, she says, hey, I'm gonna still do what's right. I'm gonna still, support Oppenheimer because it's right. Even though I might not agree with it, I might not want to in my heart. I have heartbreaks, but I gotta do what I gotta do. In my opinion, this movie was probably my third best of this year. Now I might have to go back and readjust and see what really came out. But I have Across the Spider-Verse. Elementals was better than Oppenheimer to me just because it was more relatable. And Oppenheimer is a very close second, close third. Very close third. I don't really see any movie really beating that top three. It could happen, but from my knowledge, the only thing that's probably coming out, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comes out The Marvels comes out, Blue Beetle comes out, but I don't see any of those movies with the top end, what I just named. But if you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, still like the video. I'm on the road to 100 subscribers. I need 2 more. 2 more subscribers. That's all I need. 2 more people. 2 more people. And we'll hit that 100K goal. 100K. I mean, not 100K. 100 subscriber goal. 100 subscriber special. And yeah. I'll talk to y'all later. See y'all later. Peace.